Welcome back to JLTV and Stand With Us. I'm Roz Rothstein. So happy to be here with Kay Wilson, who is a survivor of a machete attack that killed her friend. And you're on tour right now for Stand With Us. You've been visiting campuses across the country, and we hope to take you on a lot more touring. We'll work together very closely because you have such an amazing story to tell of survival. So tell us, what are you doing now besides touring for Stand With Us?
Well, I'm not as yet able to work full-time because of trauma. So I've given up guiding because it was too intense. So I'm public speaking, as you know, because you're my boss for Stand With Us. I write a little. I'm working on a full book of what happened. You know, I blog for the Times of Israel. I try and do a little bit of piano, just in like cheap hotels, elevator music, that kind of stuff. And what else? That's it. And I need a lot of downtime. You know, it's a rocky road. It's a rocky, but I don't want to complain. Which reminds me, can I tell a joke?
Absolutely.
So I was talking about complaining. So there were these two Jewish ladies in a restaurant, and the waiter comes up and he says, "Hello, ladies, is anything okay?"
Yeah. Is anything okay?
Yeah, excuse me. So I don't want to be like that, but that's what I'm doing. And look, Roz, I understood that what has happened to me is so cosmic. It's so huge. All right, and we have to remember, as Jewish people, as human beings, I have to testify to what happened, and it's not cathartic for me. I would much rather be talking about jazz, or you know, something more fun like cartooning. But I'm a witness. I must tell my story, not just for the memory of my friend, but I believe after being on tour with campus and the students, the vilification of my country and the anti-Semitism, which is poorly disguised as anti-Zionism, is outrageous. Students in the United States of America should be free to study. They shouldn't be having to worry about how to contend with hatred on campus. I've been shocked. I've been absolutely shocked. So if I'm left alive for any reason, I'm going to spend the rest of my life telling my story to make this world a better place.
Well, thank you. I mean, I know that everybody is so grateful to you. Anybody that hears you or hugs you is so grateful that you're alive and that you have made this commitment to educate people of all ages. Do you ever speak in churches at all?
Yeah, I've spoken to a couple of, well, more congregations. Actually, I did a tour with, you're not up with things, are you? I did a tour with Stand With Us in England in August.
Yes, but I didn't realize that you spoke in a church.
It was in a big Christian festival. Oh. But you know, in Britain there was, it's an interesting climate in the Christian church. It's politically, a lot of it, the established church is very left-wing. And look, I'm not making a political case. I'm just saying, it's an Arab-Israeli surgeon who saved my life. If you want to make a case against Israel, whatever, present the other side, okay? And do it with truth, do it with justice, do it with mercy. You understand? But we have to be honest in our narrative.
Well, yes, but we are honest, you
yes,
and I.
Of course we are.
That everybody else out there that doesn't want to be honest.
And you know what's amazing?
That
the people,
omits the story that
and
the
these
other
are the people who've hardly ever been to Israel.
Right.
I mean, they sit 10,000 miles away from a nice villa in Beverly Hills or wherever they live, and they think they know, you know, what really goes on. I mean, I wouldn't be so presumptuous to assume that I know what goes on in somebody else's country.
There's a lot of naivete, and the sad thing is with the naivete where people don't know. And then they hear these strange things about the state of Israel, about how it's got this horrific army that kills Palestinian children on purpose. I love that example because it's so outrageous.
Well, it's a blood libel.
It is a blood libel, it's true. And there's so much double standard, and people are so willing to talk about Israel and all of its supposed infractions, but they don't point a finger at Hamas or these terrible television shows that you and I talked about that teach children to hate and to kill, to murder Jews.
Which is a form of child abuse by their own. You know, I mean, we need to direct our, you know, the future is with the children. It's with the
Now,
children.
during the break, you told me about a young person who said, based on your story, they're going to rethink their perspective. I think it was a J Street student?
Yeah, it was a J, I won't say the name, but let's hope they'll watch the show. I'll send them a link. It was when I turned up at the Jeremy Ben-Ami event, and I asked him, you know, considering the incitement in the PA and the Hamas that led to the murder of my friend because they thought they was Jewish, why doesn't J Street address this? And I managed to tell my story very briefly that evening, and the girl came up to me and she says, I'm really, you know, really shocked to hear your story. So I invited her the next day to my talk. And we went for a scotch afterwards, and she says she was very, very sincere, and she was very pro-divestment and things that I just cannot agree with morally. But she said to me, she said, you know what, hearing you has made me doubt myself. And I thought that was wonderful. I thought that was absolutely wonderful, you know, because I do believe a lot of the students, I would imagine, you know, people are sincere a lot of people are sincere when they fight for what they perceive to be injustice, okay, what they perceive to be as injustice.
That's right.
But it's ignorant, and it's fed by extreme left-wing radicalizations, and it becomes a very hateful narrative.
Sure, you can't blame some of the students that actually have no information and then buy misinformation, and they're horrified. They're horrified, so they feel like they really need to take on a cause they feel is worthy. You can't blame them. What our job is to promote and push out as much information as we can, as quickly as we can.
And we must do it for Israel, our people, and we can do it for the sake also of the Palestinian children who are growing up.
That's
you know,
right.
It's a perfect peace plan.
There's nobody hurt worse than the Palestinian young children who are taught to hate, and their lives are just sucked out of them, and they're just directed at hate. So once again, I want to thank you for being with us. Kay Wilson, you should be amazingly, you know, fruitful and multiply your stories.
Amen, amen.
Yes, and just do the great work you're doing, and you, our audience, we'll see you next time. Please support Stand With Us and our work to take people like Kay, especially Kay Wilson, across the country to meet with young people and tell her story. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you next time on Stand With Us.